Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the dedicated four-star super rated TV Atlanta, Georgia. You will see weather information to keep you safe and productive in every society you belong. This is another beautiful day. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to talk to one and only Esquire uh, Ohini Jan. We are going to have some few talks about recently some pronouncement that's been going on from the EC and then the OSP and so many more. But because we don't know the law and we can't interpret the law, we have somebody special that I just mentioned the name to give us the brief overview and how these removals and some of these petitions works. Most of us have no idea, have no clue, and it's always important for us to get the resourceful personality to tell us more about it. So, call your friends and neighbors across the globe and tell them we are having this conversation here. So you better get yourself occupied in order for us to be on the same trade. Because if we don't, and sometimes you might have some of these issues going on and you cannot explain as better as the lawyers themselves can actually put it out there for you to understand it more clearly. So here is lawyer Ohini Jan. Lawyer, welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you? How are you and the family? Everybody doing okay?
Yes, we are doing good.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes when we see you, we are so excited because we know that in Ghana, especially, let me say, your motherland, there's too much going on, especially on the weekends. And so, if you take the time to be here with us, it's a plus for us. So, thank you for what you do. And everybody admires to hear you talking and explaining some of these legalities. And so, I'm also excited. Let me just go. I think you've heard whatever is going on with the petition sent to the president for I think it's seven of them, seven people, some for the EC chairperson, and then to the OSP. Does the president have the mandate to influence or dismiss calls for the removal of the EC and then the special prosecutor?
Okay, so let me greet you and greet people who are watching your show. Let me also commend you that even though you're far from here, you still think about a country called Ghana and you still try to get back to see what is happening back home and then seek to inform and educate the people who are also watching your program. It's good to know that for God and country, you're still doing this. Now,
Yes,
back
thank
to
you.
your question. If you look at the 1992 Constitution, precisely Article 146 has laid out the procedure for the removal of the um, justices of the Superior Court. Now, the justices of the Superior Court, you're talking about High Court, Court of Appeal, and then the Supreme Court. So the issue of the Electoral Commissioner comes in because the conditions of the office of the Electoral Commissioner is analogous to that of a Court of Appeal justice or Court of Appeal judge. So the same procedure for removal of a Court of Appeal judge will apply to the removal of Electoral Commissioner. Likewise, the two deputy commissioners of the Electoral Commission, their conditions of service as also akin to that of a High Court justice or High Court judge. So the procedure for removal of a High Court justice or judge will apply to the deputy electoral commissioners. That is why Article 146, which has outlined the procedure for the removal of the electoral commissioner and the deputies, will require that a petition will have to be sent to the president. Now, when the president receives a petition, the president shall forward the petition to the Chief Justice. And then the Chief Justice will have to make a determination whether there is a prima facie case. In ordinary parlance, will say whether there's any substance in the allegations contained in the petition for the removal of either the electoral commissioner or the deputy of the commissioner. So on this occasion, as you rightly mentioned, numerous petitions were sent to the president, and the president, acting in accordance with Article 146, also forwarded the petitions to the Chief Justice for the Chief Justice to determine whether there was any prima facie case that could be established to push the stage to the next level. But upon consideration of the various petitions that were sent to the Chief Justice, the Chief Justice, having gone through all the petitions, came out to indicate that as far as the office is concerned, the petitions received so far, none measures up to the requirement of establishing a prima facie case, or none of the petitions measured up to the threshold that the prima facie case expects from the petitioners. So in view of this, the Chief Justice is of the view that there's no need to proceed to the next level. So then the petitions fail. That is in respect of the electoral commissioner and then the two deputies. But let me also state that the grounds for the removal in respect of the commissioner and the two deputies, you are talking about stated misbehavior, incompetence, or inability to perform the functions of the office arising out of infirmity of the body or the mind. Now, these are the three conditions or the three grounds for that will warrant the removal or that will occasion a petition for the removal of the electoral commissioner and then the deputies of the electoral commissioner. Now, when it comes to the office of the special prosecutor, in this case, we are talking about the special prosecutor himself. In respect of the special prosecutor, it is the Special Prosecutor Act which dictates or defines the grounds for the removal of the special prosecutor and then the conditions for the removal. In that case, we are talking about the same grounds, but it goes further to talk about other acts or omissions in respect of the special prosecutor that may also be a ground for his or her removal. And in this case, since we are talking about him, we are talking about stated misbehavior or incompetence. We are also talking about incapacity to perform the functions. We are also talking about willful violation of the oath of the special prosecutor or his secrecy. And then we're talking about the conduct that brings or is likely to bring the office of the special prosecutor into disrepute, ridicule, or contempt. And then we're also talking about a conduct which is prejudicial or inimical to the economic security of the state. Now, these are the grounds upon which a petition can be submitted to the president for the removal of the special prosecutor. Now, in both cases, that is the electoral commissioner and her deputies and the special prosecutor, the chief justice, upon consideration, has resolved that the threshold for their establishment of prima facie case, could not be established, for which reason all the petitions that were forwarded to him will now be dismissed, as it were. So that is where we are now.
Oh, we miss your voice, lawyer. We can hear lawyer now.
You cannot hear me.
Okay, yeah. Now it's back. Yeah, now it's better. It goes.
Oh, okay. So at what point can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can hear you now. Yeah, so you're good. You're good. I know it's all.
Oh, okay. So your question. So I was trying to explain
right.
the grounds for the removal of the electoral commissioner and her deputies, as well as that of the special prosecutor. And I was trying to point out that in respect of the electoral commissioner, there has to be a petition by a citizen of Ghana to the president. And when the president receives a petition, then the president will have to forward the petition to the chief justice. Now, the grounds for the removal, as stated in Article 146 of the Constitution, has to do with other stated misbehavior or incompetence or incapacity or inability to perform the functions of the office as a result of infirmity of mind or body. So the Chief Justice, having gone through all the petitions received so far, the Chief Justice has concluded firmly that the threshold or the criterion for the establishment of a prima facie case has not been laid or has not been established per the evidence that was submitted as part of the petition to the Chief Justice, for which reason the Chief Justice has technically dismissed all the petitions that were forwarded to him in respect of both the electoral commissioner and their deputies, and then the special prosecutor. Now, your question was whether or not the president has any influence as far as the determination of prima facie case is concerned.
Right.
Now, if you're going by the constitutional provision, then the president acts as a conveyor belt. He received the petition and he is required to submit the petition or forward the petition to the Chief Justice. Now, it is the Chief Justice that has the sole prerogative or that has the mandate to determine whether or not there is a prima facie case. And at that stage, the president has no role whatsoever to play in that determination. But of course, the only role that he may play may be a role that will be behind the scenes and not a role that has been assigned by the Constitution. I hope you understand. You understand the point I'm trying to make. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So directly, the president has no function to play when it comes to determination of a prima facie case in respect of the electoral commissioner and or her deputies and the special prosecutor. It is squarely within the bosom or the remit or the mandate of the Chief Justice.
Okay, let's say, lawyer, um, we are talking to lawyer Ohene Jan, who is a private legal practitioner of what we heard. Lawyer, we can't hear you again. We lost you again, lawyer.
Okay, you were asking a question.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that was, yeah, because I missed that little space right there. I was asking that before even NDC came to power, there were the speculations of those they're going to deal with. They're going to deal with the Supreme Court justice, which we've all seen what actually happened. They're going to deal with the EC as winner takes all situations, and then they're gonna deal with the police and we've seen most of them. We've seen most of them. So I don't know if these are the promise that are being kept now. Concerning the EC, concerning the EC. Is it something they are going to prepare the prima facie case against them? Because this could be something, just throw something in the waters and feel how it's going to play, and they will come back with the real petition and say, you know what, you have violated this and that, and therefore the president should just make a phone call to say it's over.
Well, when it comes to the the letter and spirit of the Constitution, the president technically has no mandate to remove the electoral commissioner, the deputy, or the special prosecutor. It is the chief justice that has the mandate to do that. But of course, like you're saying, the fact that the initial petitions that were forwarded to the chief justice has established that there's no substance or there's no prima facie case established. That does not conclusively mean that tomorrow another petition may not be sent to the president, which may be forwarded to the Chief Justice, and upon consideration, the Chief Justice may establish a prima facie case for which the next level, which is establishment of a committee to then scrutinize the petition and then make a determination, may suffice or may happen tomorrow. That is a possibility. So, like you were saying, some key individuals in the NDC, when they were campaigning in opposition, promised their supporters that when they come into office, they were going to ensure that they will reset the composition, the current composition of the Electoral Commission by removing Jane Mensah and her two deputies. So if you are following, even after the determination by the Chief Justice, you hear NDC, some of the NDC gurus.
We are having some network problems here. Yeah, we can hear lawyer Ohene Jan, who is a private prosecutor. We are still trying to make sure we You got the network. We all know that, especially on the weekends like this, everybody is busy using the network back home, and so we try to get him back on. I think we've got him, and let's see what he's saying. As a matter of fact, we're talking about these petitions, 7 petitions that has been gone. Okay, lawyer, can you hear me, lawyer? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay,
now.
okay, okay. I think we missed that in the. We know it's all about network and internet
Yeah.
issues. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, you were making the point about the Jimensa. Let's hear you.
Yes, I was saying that when NDC was campaigning in opposition, key figures in the NDC promised their supporters that they were of the view that the electoral commissioner Jemensa and the two deputies would have to be removed. They use the word reset because they think that they were not fit for purpose, or they cannot fit into the NDC agenda of resetting Ghana. So they will have to be removed. That is why, even after the Chief Justice made a determination that the petitions that he received, and having considered the evidence provided, he was of the view that prima facie case has not or cannot be established. There are people who are still saying that they think that Jemensa and her deputies cannot continue in office under the NDC administration. That was why I was saying that the fact that these petitions were dismissed by the Chief Justice necessarily will not mean that tomorrow we will not hear another petition has been submitted to the presidency and say forwarded to the Chief Justice for Chief Justice to make another determination whether there's a Mafia case, for which reason then the Chief Justice will have to form a committee, and then they will have to determine the fate of Jemensa and her two deputies.
Oh, okay. Is this decision? Uh, I can hear your yeah. Is this decision, lawyer? Is this decision a politically strategic ahead of the future elections? Is it a strategic? It's just like winner takes all. We all know that winner takes all. When this party comes, so we wipe away the other ones, and this one comes. So is it strategic right now because election is just 3 years down the road?
Well, I'll be surprised if it is about trying to influence or control the Electoral Commission, because history will tell us, history will reveal that when Jane Mensa, when Charlotte say in 2016 was the Electoral Commissioner, members of the New Patriotic Party thought that based on her conduct and her utterances, it was not possible for Jane Mensa to supervise an election that would be free and fair for the New Patriotic Party to win fairly. But what did we see? Once Ghanaians decide that they are going to vote one way or the other, then the commission, there's little that the commission can do to change the direction of the people of Ghana. It happened in 2016. That time, the electoral commissioner Charlotte say, I'm not sure would have loved to hand or announce President Akufo-Addo as the winner of the election. But ultimately, when Ghanaians voted overwhelmingly that they needed change, there was a little that Jemensa Charlotte Osei could do. Now, fast forward to 2024, when NDC raised hell that Jim Mensah and the two deputies were doing the bidding of the New Patriotic Party, for which reason they thought they could not win elections free and fair under Jim Mensah and her two deputies. What did we see? We conducted an election, and NDC won, and power was handed over to the NDC, and now President John Dramani Mahama. So my point is that history serving as a guide will detect that when the people of Ghana decide the destiny and the fate of an election, the electoral commission or the electoral commissioner cannot change the outcome of the will of the people of Ghana. So if that is the basis for removal of Jane Mensah and her two deputies, then I'll be surprised, and I'm sorry that that cannot determine the outcome of the 2028 elections.
Okay, that's fine. But do you think there should be an independent inquiry to settle this matter transparently?
Well, when you say independent inquiry to settle which, because if you look at the Article 146, for me, this issue about determination of prima facie case.
Mm-hmm. Share the sound. We can't hear you, lawyer. We can't hear lawyer speaking, but we still can't hear you. We just, if you heard the question that I asked him, I can't hear you, lawyer. I don't know. Yeah, check. Check your side and let's see if, yeah, I can still hear. Oh. Okay, so those of us who are listening to Data Kid with the 4 stars of Radio TV, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, having these interview with private legal practitioner, as you say him, lawyer Ohene Jan, explaining some few details about those 7 petitions that were sent to remove the EC and then OSP, as we all know. And so he's breaking it down for us to get the real understanding. And we know about the internet situation right now, and sometimes the line will cut off, but lawyers still determined to let us hear exactly what is on the ground. So lawyer, let me see if I can hear you now, lawyer. Let me hear from you, lawyer. If the private independent inquiry that I asked. Can you hear me, lawyer? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can
Okay.
you also hear me?
Okay, yeah, now it's better. I don't know if it's me or it's you. We are all old school, so sometimes this computer thing it gives a little trouble. So you were explaining about the transparency, the independent inquiry. You were explaining, and then your line went off.
Yes, I was making the point that the constitutional provision says it is the Chief Justice that will have to determine a prima facie case. Now, that is where it ends. Now, it's a discretionary power that the Chief Justice will have to exercise. Now, there are no guiding principles. So, if the Chief Justice feels, or the Chief Justice, having looked at the petition, considers or concludes that there's no substance, that becomes the decision. If the Chief Justice is of the view that there's a prima facie case, that becomes the decision. Maybe it is time that if we are going to make any amendments into the Constitution, we should amend Article 146 to provide an elaborate guiding procedure for the removal of these office holders, so that we know that to determine prima facie there ought to be A, B, C, D, E, so that you tick. Then based on the tickings, you can then firmly conclude that there is a prima facie case. But where an individual will have to make a determination, it becomes problematic. The same thing happened when the Council of State made a prima facie case against the removed Chief Justice, Justice Tokono.
Right.
And some of us were raising the issue that there are no benchmarks. It is an exercise of a discretion. And because there are no established guidelines, it becomes easy for the Council of State, as constituted, to make a determination of a prima facie case. And nobody can question that, because that is the mandate that the Constitution has given to the Council of State. Similarly, that is the mandate the Constitution has given to the Chief Justice, to make a determination of a prima facie case. But if you have an independent body, let's say three eminent, former Chief Justices, or some composition of three people or so, to then sit and go through the petition to make a determination, I think that would be more transparent than one individual, the Chief Justice, making that determination.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, lawyer. Those of you who are listening from afar and near, we are talking to private legal practitioner. We all know him, lawyer Ohene Jan, who is explaining this to me. I don't know some of these things myself, but I'm also learning as we go, which is, of course, a good thing for most of us to understanding in case of future references. You can also step in and have your say in it. Now, lawyer, do you foresee anything of this sort coming somewhere down the line? Because everybody is just saying these petitioners will come again and appeal it again. And do you foresee anything like that since you've been practicing all these years?
Yeah, I will not be surprised if by Monday we are informed that another petition has been sent to the president for the removal of the electoral commissioner and her deputies. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because as I indicated earlier, prominent and key members of the NDC still think that Jane Mensah and her deputies are not fit for purpose under the NDC reset agenda, for which reason, by hook or by crook, they will have to ensure that they are removed. So I wouldn't be surprised if by next week we hear that the presidency has received other petitions seeking to remove the chief justice, the electoral commissioner, and her deputies from office.
Now, what about the OSP? Is it the same? Do you
For
also?
for the for the for the for the special prosecutor, because of the pronouncement by the president. You remember when people were calling for his removal, when even the majority in parliament were taking steps to move for him to be changed, the presidency stepped in to indicate that he should be allowed to continue with his work. So from that pronouncement by the president, I think that if the NDC people want to respect what the president said, then there will be no need for them to petition the president again, seeking to remove the special prosecutor. This is also not to say that you cannot find ordinary Ghanaians who are not members of the NDC who may want to see the special prosecutor removed from the office. So they may petition the presidency for the removal of the special prosecutor. And in his case, in his office, the special prosecutor, the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act mandates the presidency upon receipt of a petition to forward same to the Chief Justice. That one, it is sharp, and there are timelines for transmitting the petition to the Chief Justice. So for the petition seeking to remove the special prosecutor, once it hits the presidency, the president's outfit is required by the special prosecutor, the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, to forward the petition to the Chief Justice Office for determination of a prima facie case. So the presidency has no discretion to say that I will not forward the petition to the Chief Justice in respect of the removal of the special prosecutor.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised when you hear that other Ghanaians have also petitioned for the removal of the special prosecutor from his office.
Okay, that's fine. This is my final question, lawyer, and then I was just say that thank you for your time. What is all this things about? Is it about protecting the party or protecting our democracy? What is it about?
If you look at the, I in respect of the electoral commissioner and her deputies, the NDC people who want to, revenge the removal of Salotosei and her two deputies from office under the first Akufo-Addo administration, we want to revisit the same thing by way of revenge on Jane Mensah and her two deputies. There are people who also think that the conduct of Jane Mensah and her two deputies is such that they've exhibited incompetence, and for which reason they ought not to be in office as electoral commissioners. But people who are Ghanaians who do not subscribe to this thing of you want to seek revenge, we want to look at it from a context where the performance of the Jane Mensah and her two deputies in respect of the conduct of elections have measured up to the expectation of Ghanaians. Because look, in the 2020 elections that were conducted by the Electoral Commission, don't forget we were in COVID. Some countries had to postpone the conduct of their elections. But Jane Mensah and the outfits, the Electoral Commissioner and her outfit, the Electoral Commission, were able to compile the voters register. They were able to conduct an election, notwithstanding COVID-19 in 2020. And we had an election. In 2024, they conducted an election that, had there not been some few incidents that, for me, you cannot blame them, but you blame the political activists or the political parties and their fanatics, we would have had one of the best incident-free elections in Ghana. So to that extent, it makes it difficult to appreciate why people might want to see them removed for incompetence in respect of their office holding. But there are people who also think that they've conducted themselves in a manner that will not measure up to the threshold of uh, misconduct, that they've conducted themselves in a manner that can be construed as constituting stated misbehavior, for which reason they ought to be removed from office. So it is a case by case basis. It depends on the petition and the evidence that will be submitted alongside the petition that will determine whether there will be any substance for their removal based on the three grounds stated in Article 146: stated misbehavior, incompetence, or inability to perform their functions based on infirmity of mind or body. Now, if you look at the last one, infirmity of mind and body, so far we have not removed anybody from office based on that third criteria. In respect of the Chief Justice who was removed from office, people were referring to stated misbehavior and to some extent incompetence. So when it came to the former electoral commissioner, Charlotte Osei, and her two deputies, they were found liable for stated misbehavior, procurement breaches, and all that. So let's see, let's wait and see the petitions that will be sent and the substance or the basis that will be canvassed for their removal in those petitions.
Okay. All right, lawyer. You know what more can I say? I'm out of words from whatever training or teaching you've taken me and then the rest of the world through about this. We are much concerned because of our country where we come from, and we believe all these things need to be put in place. So it would not be too much sidelining. We don't have to sideline so much inappropriate to one side, as we all say, winner takes all. I'm hoping and looking forward that in the future this would not occur unless everybody, if you're qualified to be in a position, you should have the mandate to make things work and work efficiently. And so, what can I say? Thank you so much, lawyer. We'll come back again. Anything that pops out, we'll come and then seek more information from your practice and also make us aware. The awareness is what it's more important. So, lawyer, once again, thank you very much.
Again, let me also thank you for the education and also add my voice to the concerns you raised that we are building or we are seeking to build a democracy.
Let's see. Mhm.
Democracy thrives on institutions, strong, robust institutions. So if we continue to politicize overly the institutions that propel democracy, then our democracy will never grow, because then the next MBP administration will also make sure that they also remove whoever is brought during NDC administration. I don't think that that will augur well for the stability that we need in building our democracy. So thank you very much for the
Okay.
opportunity for
All
God
right.
and country.
Okay, thank you so much. That was lawyer Ohini Jan who took the time to be here with us, and I hope you've learned something out of it. If you want to put some comment out there, bring your comment because we all don't think the same. Whatever will be positive for you will be negative for somebody else, and we all hope for the better, for good and country, and how we are going to survive our development in that beautiful country. We just want democracy to work and to work at its best. And so, dedicate from wherever you're watching us, thank to my producers and Andy, uh, Black J, and C. Akins, all of them, they put all this thing together. And then big thanks to lawyer Ohene Jan also for taking the time to be here with us. You guys don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let this thing go as far as you can think, and let's make Four Stars a proud and proud and proud dedicate. I am out.